trying to do some fishing today. Water smooth. Let's see. Stay out here too much longer because we're already getting bad. Got one. Not a bad fish, not a bad fish, kind of pretty one, ain't it? As I was catching that one, there was one jumping across the pond. Pretty cool. I guess that's why you can see him probably. Maybe here. So let's talk about why some people can't say things to your face. why some people can't. The reason people didn't say something scared. Part of what they're saying, they're not 100% sure on, so they won't say those things to a person's face. They'll say those things to other people. And the other people that are sure that they are saying those things will then say those things to your face if necessary. And I don't really have an example that I can use, but that's just something I can share with people. Because, see, I have post-traumatic stress disorder. And from my understanding, that's the reason that some of the musical artists and movie actors and things have some of their issues is because they are themselves learning how to deal with their post-traumatic stress disorder, and they are sharing those things with other people, and that's how they become who they are. Because once you learn how to use things that you've had happen to you that were negatively impacting you to better yourself and someone else, then you're making a difference in the right direction rather than harming yourself by continuing to allow your triggers of post-traumatic stress disorder to keep you down. And I'm trying to work on those things myself because I'm not perfect and I make mistakes all the time. But one thing I do know is when you're born premature without the ability to see out of your pupils clearly, those things cause you to immediately, to your brain will start having traumatic things happen. It's just like when your mystery wife calls your mother when you're only 2 years old, not even 2 years old, and tells her that she's holding you too tightly. And she drops you out of her arms because some woman is calling saying that she's married to a 2-year-old. Pay attention. That's when you can understand when a woman says she loves someone from the time they were born to the time they was right now. That's right, and I know it's right. They dropped me on the hook because of it. And she started trying to cuss that woman out and call her all kinds of dirty names. And from that moment, I was able to really start seeing clearly of things. Because that's the point of hearing sounds and identifying them as things. And just because I know who that mystery wife was at that time, it didn't keep her from living her life. Because my mother told her all kinds of things that day. Because when you can see clearly, I've told people things that they were doing around my mother before I was born. If I get too much into re-entry, then she might come and see me again, you know. Those two, but not in there, you know what I mean? That's when you know someone's coming to see you without having to do all that stuff, and that's something, ain't it? Because if I can see when my mother was in Swananoa in training school, before I was born, because my mother was in training school. When I was born, she was 19. Just turned 19. I mean, that would understand why I can hit those notes like I can. Isn't that right, Mr. Cook? We'll keep it like that, right? I got 4 letters. She's only got a B. And when someone tries to sell or tell anybody that I'm taking their sound or whatever, or all of that, they need to remember that all those letters that Mrs. Cook was having those girls write back then, she was telling them to write the dog a letter, write this a letter, write that a letter. There's your category 10, bro. See, when you use one of my mother's letters, I can still see the kick in that kid door. They had saloon doors. You know, I ain't never been there, but they had saloon doors on the showers and the bathrooms. I heard there was a lot of good bartenders that come out of there. Of course, I could be wrong, you know. But they sure as hell was some good servers. Now, they tell me I shouldn't be talking about too much fact and stuff while I'm fishing and all of that, or even anything on social media, really. But, you know, I worked today. I went to work this morning just after 9 o'clock. I got off just before 5. I didn't really take more than like a 10-minute break all day. Maybe 12, 13. But now I'm out here trying to freaking make a way on here. So this is like my second job. Well, really it was my first job, but it's become my second job. And I'm not even getting paid for it. I'm still in the internship. But I'm trying. I mean, I can't do it all. Most of these people on YouTube, they have more than just themselves doing it. The ones that are actually making, you know, daily content with, you know, more than 1,000 subscribers. And I know you're wondering why I'm still looking at the camera and still reeling this reel, but here's the thing about it. And I can do this. The hook will set itself sometimes. See, that's what they say about me. But here's the thing about that. When you force a man down into narrowed places to even seek employment, just so you can come back later and try and put all that stuff on them from 5 years ago that they really didn't have anything to do with, at what point in time? That's the whole thing about coming and saving someone, isn't that right? I guess that's what the whole thing boils down to. Or are we still talking about the tour, the baptism, and the chapel? Because if I recall correctly, I know what road Whitsett sits on. I know what sits there too. Now, if I know that, I still sent that Whitsett Chapel out there like that, because the semi-trailer was probably former prison ministry. That was kind of like a respect thing to the Swananoa mother and aunt and all those others, and to my heart out in Asheville, or Hickory, as they say it quick. See what I'm saying about my exes and things like that, so. One thing I did find out when I was in Missouri was when I sat in the parking lot and I would sing, or even if I was singing, I could hear other people around me singing along with me, even when I wasn't singing out loud. And that happens. It makes me wonder. Well, I guess I figured out who the bald head is. But I knew that then. It's like a greenhouse effect. This is me being vulnerable too by saying all these things, because anybody can cut it and put it on an AI thing and make it look like anything that they want to. That's the point of understanding the deep fakes and understanding what some of those are too. Because once you understand those deep fakes and all of that stuff, that's when you can understand about the sound of motion. Looks like I might only get one today, y'all. But hey, one's better than none. I won't hit it. You know, something also has to be said when a man can see what his parents met, down to the description of being able to write it. But that was in a composition book that was supposedly stolen from me and thrown in the trash in Marshfield, Missouri, when they put a false charge on me of, a felony nature. But they withdrew it, so I'm not going to talk about that, even though there's still things that need to be fixed on that aspect. But Missouri did withdraw. In North Carolina, they say they don't withdraw, they just dismiss. And then you got to go back a year later to get it expunged. But that's BS. Maybe it ain't. Maybe it's just right on the damn edge of the continent like this, there's things that are different from other places. It's like if you go out to California and you're sitting on the ocean, sitting in the sand on the beach, you see helicopters and all kinds of stuff flying over you and stuff, just doing border checkpoints and things like that. Because, you know, king tides are coming in. I can see where those splashes are. You can see where it's moving into the, see that? You can see where it's moving into the pond, so that means it's gonna, the water's gonna come back up here again. Yeah.
Nice little spot.
Somebody's either grilling or smoking. Or as that one video on YouTube says, with the old man sitting in the passenger seat. That's no skunk. That's marijuana. It's stinky. And I'm assuming it's king tides, but I mean, it looks like the tides are coming in because this is connected to the river. No dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. And a dream is just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you. Never knowing what's in store makes each day a constant battle. Just a stay between the shores, and I will sail my best till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wing. These waters on my sky. Alright, so y'all don't think that this is any kind of auto-tune or anything like that. That's one song that I've been singing for a long time in my life, since I had my limited series box set. Better know that, because when you know that G, buddy, that's some real stuff. Now I'm gonna give you a little bit. You know, a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. And a dream is just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you. And never knowing what's in store makes each day a constant battle.
to stay between the shores. And I will sail my vessel until the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel until the river runs dry. Too many times we stand aside and let the water slip away, until what we put off till tomorrow has now become today. Don't you sit upon the shoreline and say you're satisfied, and choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance them tides. 'Cause I got some tight ideas for you if you really wanted to. I told you that day right outside that gas station, you know what I mean, that 76 drain. Yeah, it's you I mean to say, them 18 gleaming. Now I'm gonna go back to fishing.
How you doing out there, Too Clean Tootin'? I'm hoping that wood lot's gonna give me a little bit of luck. Which I might go see you. It might be a little dirty though. I'm gonna do this one right here for my dad, my father. He told me one time, he said, son, your mama's a goddamn good woman, man. She got me out of a whole lot of stuff. So this one right here is gonna be getting with my mama right quick. Y'all ready for this?
It's 6 o'clock on Friday evening, mama let her know she's leaving till she hears a scream slamming, rubber squealing, gears a jamming, local conversation just a blaring on the radio. Pick him up at 7 and they're heading to the rodeo. Mama's on the front porch screaming out her warning, girl, you better get your red head back in bed before the morning. I ain't going down till the sun comes up, I ain't giving in till they giving it up. Go around the world in a pickup truck. I ain't going down till the sun comes up. I can actually understand what that lyric meant by going around the world in a pickup truck. By sitting in a pickup truck that couldn't go anywhere because someone soldered the roof light to the roof in the back of the seat. See? And when I understood that, and I was on highway Interstate 44 and I was doing 73 miles an hour, and as soon as my electronics went out, I had to feather the gas once I came to a slower stop. But the good thing about having and driving a built truck like I had is when the electronics go out after you have a rebuilt motor, it'll still run until the battery fully dies. And that was the reason for the alternator problem too. And that might have had something to do with it, but the roof light was moved. The cab light was moved after the, I think it's called Herbert's Towing in Springfield had it in their possession. Before that, the only thing wrong with it was it had ran out of gas. So at the time, that's what that is. So that's the reason I don't have a vehicle at the moment, because that was really something that was mine and already paid for. Now, let me see if I can give you another one. Let me think. You boys have met a real country girl? I'm talking true blue, out in the woods, down home, farm grown country. She's a hot little number in a Rivian. That's with money done got it done. If you wanna try to tell me something about the sun, remember that day them sunglasses were. She's not a party all-nighter, but man, she can tell you I went and picked her up out of the bathroom. Then I threw a drink across the bar and got her ass out of there, y'all. If you want to try to tell me again, that bar ain't even around here no more, friend. Now this one right here you can call it what you want, man, but I'm gonna tell you something about a real drag strip waltz, and I'm gonna tell you something else about a dance set said, what's y'all's problem talks. Now, this is for having stinky feet and not wanting to offend other people with the odor of my feet. I wish I'd have been able to share that. I wish I would have stayed and shared that waffle. I really do. But at the time, I didn't think that my feet I couldn't hardly stand to smell my feet and eat. So I didn't want anybody else to have to smell them too. But it's gonna go like this. And I'm not stealing anybody's songs. This is a copywritten song already, but life's a dance, you learn as you go. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Don't worry about what you don't know. Life's a dance, you learn as you go. Now I'm gonna get back to fishing, y'all. I just ain't been able to go to karaoke and stuff like that, so that's kind of like what that was. Got one. As soon as I got me some songs out. Thank you. Oh, he's just a little fella. Hey, little guy. He's just a little man. But he's a big guy, though. Look at him. Ain't that something?
So I figure when it comes down to whether or not people accept a person or not, it comes down to the fact of whether or not a person is really somebody who is based on, if you, like Denzel Washington said early in his career, if you spend all your time worrying about what other people think, you can't do what you do. So that's the reason I've stopped worrying about what other people think, because I can't continue to dwell on what other people might think of me. That causes me to get into my PTSD triggers, which isn't good either. So it's kind of like that one time when a Native American license plate showed up in front of me outside a closed down barbecue place next to a gas station that had a McDonald's in it. And I walked up and I waved, and I got a wave back. I felt like I could hear you then, but my feeling wasn't as much as hearing as seeing something that made more sense to me that didn't. It made more sense to go up and show myself to you and let you see who I was, rather than just sit there and try to let you guess if I could hear you or not. I couldn't fully understand, but I did understand this. Now, I'm going to say this on a video, not just on a comment, because I want that woman to know that when I'm talking about something, I'm serious. And I know for a fact, or at least, I'm not going to say a fact, but I know that the artist, Miss Lainey Wilson, was on a tour bus after leaving, seeing the people up in the western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. And when she was either going there or leaving, I'm not exactly sure. I believe she was leaving, maybe going, maybe leaving, but it was the guitar playing of playing Lorelei and singing Deep Blue, or playing Deep Blue and singing Lorelei. But either one, those were what was helping her to get through things and to get rid of the negative that she said she wasn't saving everybody. She was only saving the people that really made it through to her. And I know I made it through to her. And I wasn't physically on that bus in my actual skin that you're seeing right now, but she could hear me. And so could that man with the N on his hat, no halo. Matter of fact, I think she said that she wasn't writing my words, even though I was like, that's mine. And that's what that is. But she likes to write things down. If you hear something, that's why I carry books with me too. But who am I kidding? As long as I've been a man and the air's been free to breathe, that woman's known who I was and who I am and all of that, just as sure as my middles will. So. supposed to get some rain tonight. All day tomorrow. Hot little number in her pickup truck. Pay the sweet money to Jackson. She's party all night, South Carolina. Bad mama jamma down in Alabama. She's crazy, crazy. Lunatic from Brunswick, Trisha Georgia Peach with a thick southern drawl, sexy swing wall, trouble she's on. Cowboy boots. Down home roots, country. Down about the country. I wanna love you. He just said that. Try and get one more before I go today. Y'all fishing here before?
No, we live over here. We were just never walked over here before. We didn't know how far you could go.
I've got a YouTube channel, and right now I've only got 6 on that one. I've got 3 channels, but this channel that I'm doing right now is all fishing, and I've only been able to really catch anything right here. I mean, I can't get over there without like stepping like deep in, like, because believe it or not, this is connected to the river.
Yeah.
If y'all pull it up on satellite, this is connected to the river. But I'll tell you something else. When I was his age, my dad was building, wiring up the house that was being built, and my dad used to come fishing in here with us. And until the neighborhood got finished, and this is back in like this is back a while back.
When it was like a golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but he got ran out. They told him that he couldn't do any fishing. He's like, dude, all I'm doing is catching and putting them back. I'm just passing time. So my dad got mad at him one time. He said, you know what? He said, I'll tell you what. He said, my son will come back in here and he'll fish every damn day if he wants to. And y'all won't write him out then because he'll be making media. And I'm making social media. So, and I mean, so yeah.
What kind of fish you catch?
Bass so far. But this is the only. I got this and a swim bait that doesn't look good with this reel because it's not heavy enough. So this is the only.